Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter and the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed.
This episode is the Festival of Life Changes, and Malika has a life update to share.
But first, Azizi, we're in the same place.
I know. I'm in East Hampton. I'm actually next door to you in this beautiful little recording studio your husband built.
Yes,
really nice.
We're both in the basement.
We're both in the basement.
Because there's a lot of activity upstairs. It's full house. It's very fun.
It's cousin time up there.
Yes.
Good cousin bonding happening upstairs. It's really nice.
Very sweet.
It was on my spring bucket list, so I can cross that off. I'm looking forward to crossing off travel to East Hampton on my list.
And we went to the Magic Wings today, which was on my spring bucket list.
Hey, look at that.
We're moving through it. Spring is here.
Knocking things off the list.
I have to say, we did take Indigo. I was on the fence about it because I had a vision of like enjoying butterflies by myself. I'm glad we took him. It was a fun family activity. And he was a little more afraid of the butterflies than I thought.
But to be fair, so was my oldest daughter, who is 21. She also was a little afraid of the butterflies. So this is not just an Indigo thing.
No, it feels like they've gotten bigger. And some of them are like, is it a bat or is it a butterfly? Like when the body is a certain size, it's really a little scary when it comes towards you.
They're also like black and blue. Some of those big ones, anything that comes to your face, even if it's beautiful, you're going to like be taken aback a little bit.
Yeah. I'm glad we went. It was fun, but it was also, I noticed for a lot of toddlers who were there seemed a little stressed out.
There's a lot going on. I enjoyed myself. They had birds and turtles, and Malika, I think you should go back by yourself one day.
I think I need to go like during off hours, like right when they open or something. And so I could be alone or like me and 2 other people because
no one else there. Yes.
That it creates a different atmosphere too when it's not very busy.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, I want that for you. Put it back on the list.
Okay. Well, the good thing is it's actually year round, so it can go anytime.
Perfect. We're back, and this episode is dedicated to life changes. And Malika, when I work with 6th graders, sometimes I have them do a prompt to help them share about themselves with each other. And what you do is you take a piece of paper and you fold it in quarters. So you have 4 squares. And in each square, you draw a picture or tell the story of something that happened in your life that made you who you are, some sort of life-changing event. And then you tell the stories, and it's so beautiful and so lovely. And I thought we could do something like that on the podcast where we can share some things. So maybe we can share 3 life changes that made us who we are. How does that sound?
I love that. Let's do it.
Okay, but we can't say anything boring like getting married or having kids, blah, blah, blah. Like everyone would say that, right?
Okay.
So can't say those things. And this is not an exhaustive list. Like we know lots of things have happened to make us who we are. There are so many events in all of our lives, but you have to focus in on just 3.
Okay. Because we can't get to all of the life changes, let's just do a few kind of rapid fire before we get into more detail. Something that changed your life. Azizi, go.
The adoption of our rescue dog, Bo.
Meeting Norm.
Taking an East Coast college tour road trip during the pandemic with Ilea.
A pregnancy loss.
The girls and I moving to our first apartment after my divorce.
Becoming a mom. Okay. I so want to unpack all of those things, but for the
I
sake of time,
know. That's a whole episode in
let's
itself, all those
we'll
events.
stick a pin in it. We'll see if people want more. We can always go back, but we're just setting the stage. Big life events. So, Azizi, what are the 3 life changes that you feel made you who you are?
The first one is your birth, Malika.
Oh,
I couldn't say my own kids, but this is still a birth. And it's very true that when you were born, my life changed. Now, I was a very, very happy
okay.
only child for 6 years of my life. I had lots of attention and the love of my parents. And then you were born. Now, it didn't change. I still felt all that attention, but I was intrigued. I wanted a girl, and you were born, and you were such a beautiful baby. And I loved you so much immediately, and I loved taking care of you. And because I was 6 years older, I was often in positions where I had to take care of you, or I had to watch you, or I had to help. And I really feel like that launched my career in education,
Hmm.
taking care of you and getting so much joy out of it. I started babysitting and working in aftercare programs and summer programs, preschool, and then a teacher, and now an administrator. And I really think that's because you came into my life when you did.
Wow. Well, I'm honored to be the inciting incident of your career path.
Yeah.
We've talked about, like, I know that you took care of me, and of course, I remember that when I was older, but we haven't really discussed the baby years. I don't really know how that was, the day to day. I'm curious with a small child now myself, like, well, what did you do when I was 2?
I mean, I don't remember a lot of things from yesterday or 40 years ago, but I definitely remember playing with you and singing to you. I remember teaching you how to read. Like, I remember that
Wow.
moment, but now we're getting into whole other small moments.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a lot there, and definitely that impacted the trajectory of my life when you were born.
All right. What's the second moment that changed your life?
The second moment that changed my life was when I was a senior in high school. I feel so braggy when I talk about this, but it was a really big deal for me at the time. And I got into student government when I was a freshman, I think in ninth grade. Right away, I was interested in student government and sort of participating in that way. And so when I was a junior, I decided to run for all school president. And that meant that I would be responsible for and leading all of student government at the school, and had to run a couple of assemblies with the school and work with the administration. And I remember my friends kind of rallying around me, and we came up with a creative speech. And then I won. And my senior year, I was the all school president, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And I think for me, it sort of sparked my love of meetings, my
Mm.
love of leading and collaborating and working with others to try to take care of a community. I knew that I loved that kind of activity. So it's not surprising that I find myself in the position that I am now. I've just kind of always loved being in spaces around people who want to make things better for others.
I love that. I remember that. I guess I was in 7th grade, maybe 6th grade when you were running. And I think that had a big impression on me that you could be the student body president. Like that was an option. And that's something that I did too when I was in high school.
Remember
Not to steal your
that?
thunder, but I also
Wait a
ran.
minute, it's my story time.
I also ran and was elected student body president of my high school.
What are the odds of this, Malika?
I don't know.
Student body presidents at our high schools.
Yeah, different schools too, but I really was proud of you, and I went to that same school where you were the president the year after you left.
Right.
So that was like my cachet, like, "Oh, I was Zizi's sister," and everybody, "Oh, you're Zizi's sister."
Oh, that's funny.
I was only there for a couple years, but that's how everybody knew me, and I was really, like, proud to have that status.
Oh,
Okay. What is your 3rd big moment, life change event?
right. So my third big moment was when I moved in with Grayson. And Grayson and I dated for about 2 years. One of those years was in the pandemic. And so it was like super heightened. And I was just so grateful to have another adult in my life who cared for me and cared for my children. I remember one time, so I'm older, and my girls were older. They were supportive of me. They wanted me to find someone in my life to be a partner. But I was very cautious because I had to take care of them. I had to protect them. And that I knew was my priority. And so I was very cautious just getting into a relationship and getting into a serious relationship. But Grayson was so lovely. So he asked the girls, he really wanted to cook for them. And he said, well, what can I cook for you guys? And I remember Ilea giving him like a super hard menu. She was like, I want cornbread and macaroni and cheese and greens and ribs. And he was like, okay. And he made it and he brought it over to our house. And it was so good. And the girls were in.
Oh,
So it came to the point where he had to move out of his house. And I was kind of unhappy with my apartment. Our living situation wasn't working. And he suggested that we move in together. And it took me a full 3 months to really ponder it. And then we did. We decided, yes, he should move into my apartment. We should both move into some place together. And so we found a house that worked for everyone and we all moved in together. And it was so amazing. It was
mhm.
immediately amazing and just helped me feel so much more comfortable. And it was a distinct new phase in my life and in girls' lives. And here we are, 4 years later. Now we're still happy together.
That's wonderful. I remember that. I remember you just not being sure how it would go because you hadn't lived with a partner in so long, and there was a lot at stake, and it's very vulnerable, even moving in with a roommate. Like, living together, there's really no escape, and especially during the pandemic,
Yeah.
you really better hope that you get along and that it works, and it really did. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Me too. I'm happy I took that leap. Sometimes you just got to jump. And
Yeah,
that was one of those times. And I'm glad I did.
nice. My birth, high school president, and moving in with Grayson.
Yes. 3 big moments. So let's take a break and then we'll hear Malika's life changes.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready to go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
All right, we are back.
All right, Malika, it's your turn. What are your 3 life changes?
The first one that comes up for me is going to Morocco on a trip by myself when I was 16. This was a trip that some people at my church organized, and this was the first time that I had an idea for myself to do something unprompted by anybody else in my family, and I just was so clear that I wanted to do it and was going to make it happen for myself. And I had studied Morocco for a geography project my freshman year of high school. We had to do this assignment where you pick a country that your ancestors are from, and We do not have Moroccan ancestry, but this was like pre 23andMe era. Like I didn't know exactly where our ancestors came from in Africa. And so the teacher's like, well, just pick any country you want. And so I was like, okay. So I picked Morocco and did this whole, as much as you would do in ninth grade report on it. And then the next year, I like at church, and there's this speaker talking about this opportunity to go to Morocco, this kind of cultural exchange. And I had goosebumps listening to him speak. And I just immediately knew, like, I have to go on that trip and I'm going to fundraise, whatever. And I remember telling mommy and daddy, and they were kind of like, oh, I don't know. Okay. And at some point, daddy was like, no, you're not going on that trip. We're not paying for
That
it.
that that
You
sounds
haven't
right.
raised the money. And inside, I was just like, oh, I'm going to go just so you see. And I did. I
Wow.
wrote letters
Wow.
to our relatives and family friends and raised the money to do this trip. And I was with other people from my church, but I didn't know any of them. And
Wow.
I think there were like 2 other teenagers, but it was mostly adults. And it was such an incredible experience. We were there for, I think, 10 days or 12 days, but it really just changed me in that it gave me the confidence to know if I want to do something, I can do it and I can figure it out and it could happen, which was just like such a great lesson for me to learn at that age.
This is before GoFundMe
Yes,
also,
no GoFundMe. These were
right?
letters in the
You had
mail.
to actually write a letter and put a stamp on it and put it in the
Yes.
mail? Wow. Do you know what I was doing when I was 16? Not that this is my story time.
Okay.
When I was 16 over summer, I was at a Girl Scout sleepaway in upstate New York. And you went to Morocco. Most people don't go to Morocco. That's pretty amazing.
It was a great opportunity. And yeah, I'll never forget that trip.
Yeah. Wow. What is life change number 2?
All right. So the second big thing would be going to graduate school to get Masters of Fine Arts in acting. So
Mhm.
this was also a thing that I wanted to do that almost no one else thought I should do.
The theme.
I mean, people were supportive, but it's not medical school. Like, it's a totally elective kind of higher degree that may or may not
Right.
actually benefit you in your career as an artist or, depending on who you talk to, whatever. We've discussed this somewhat. But I knew for myself it was important to me. And I wanted that
Hmm.
conservatory style training and to just really be like in this hardcore artist mode, creative
Mm.
mode. And it was that for 3 years with 8 other
Wow.
people. And those are some of my closest friendships now. And it was just such a great introspective experience. I think it
Mhm.
probably could have been similar. I've heard parallels of people who do any kind of like therapist training, counselor training, where you're having to share so much of yourself and your story and your
Mm.
identity over years with different people. You really get close and you also just learn so much about yourself.
Hmm.
And it is something that it was a huge investment and it is something I went into debt for. These are consequences that I'm still experiencing. And I still feel that it was worth it. Like, it can never be taken away from me what I gained from that experience. And so it really did change me. It opened my eyes, my kind of just worldview, perspectives. And there were some really incredible mentors that came out of that program. I always look at it fondly.
I feel like we all benefited from this experience you had because you don't talk about undergrad that much. Like, you actually don't talk that much about whatever you did in undergrad, but you talk about graduate school a lot and you talk about the things that you've learned from the courses and just how to have presence, how to speak with authority, how to juggle, all of
Literally
these really
juggle.
good skills you learned in graduate school. So I think we've all benefited from
I
that.
think that's partly like, so when I was there, it was, I think, between ages like 23 and 27 or something, like this very formative, like prefrontal cortex closing time that I
Right.
think I was just in such a ripe stage of life to kind of learn bigger things than maybe I was ready for in undergrad, or it's
Mm.
just, I think the timing was a part of it too.
Yeah, and those friends are family
Yeah.
friends, I've had them all at my house, they've been at mommy and daddy's house, they're just all part of the family. That's well worth the debt. Friends are priceless.
Friends are priceless.
What's your third life change?
All right. So the third thing that changed my life was during the pandemic, deciding to quit my full-time job and go all in on my coaching business, which I had started a few years earlier, but had always been kind of a side hustle.
Mhm.
So I made the decision to like just go all in and make this my number one thing. And it was really scary because I was so happy to have a full-time job with benefits and a salary, which was also something that's not always been a part of my adult story. So
Yeah.
it was a big deal to have that. But it was a situation where kind of thinking about the Laverne McKinnon interview that we talked about from Happier in
Yeah.
Hollywood, like
Mm.
when you know in your body that something isn't a good fit, I was
Mm.
having this kind of existential crisis about the organization I was working for and the way that they were doing business, and just felt like it was so out of alignment with what I was wanting. And so at the beginning of the pandemic, there was so much uncertainty. Is this the best time to quit a job and do this wild thing on my own? But it just kind of came down to like, do I believe in myself? Can I bet on myself?
Mm.
And I decided to try it. And Norm was a good, like, at that point we were living together. So that was a huge support.
Mm. Yes.
It was amazing. And even though I'm not doing that work now, I think having that feeling in those years where I knew like I created something and like I got clients, people trusted me to work with them. I was able to see changes and like impact in the work that I was doing that I generated just from believing in myself that I could. That's something, again, that I will always have with me no matter what my work context is,
Mhm.
whether I decide to be a full-time entrepreneur again or not. It's just having that evidence for yourself that's so meaningful.
Mhm. You know you have the capacity to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and I also consider myself lucky to be the beneficiary of free coaching from someone who was a professional coach. You were really good, and I was impressed. You had a newsletter, you had live sessions, you had social media presence, like, you were really doing it. I was very proud of you.
Thank you. It's funny, it's the kind of thing that I don't know when or if I'll go back to that because life changed and it became not
Right.
right, and not the thing
Yes.
that I wanted, which also reminds me of, are you a book person or a tree person? Like, I'm such a book
Mhm.
person.
More
Like,
evidence that you are a book and I'm a tree. I've been doing the same kind of thing for like 30 years now. Yeah,
I
that's
turn
really
the page,
cool.
I turn the page.
And you're done.
It may be, but it's definitely a life change to just go through that season.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. Those were 3 really big changes. I really loved hearing your perspective on them. Yes, as I watched you go through them, but I've learned things I didn't know about you also in this time. So, listeners, share with us your life changes. Have you had any big life changes? We'd love to hear what were the moments that impacted your life as well. And we are going to take a break. When we come back, we have a bonus segment. We're back with a very special bonus segment because Malika has something she wants to share. What do you want to share, Malika?
I do. Well, speaking of life changes, I am having another baby soon.
Yay! Confetti, confetti, confetti.
Yes.
So exciting, Malika. How do you feel?
I feel good. As we are recording this, I'm kind of closing in on the end of the second trimester. This little person is going to come in July. So there's still
Wow.
some time to get ready, but it's going by fast. And I feel really excited. It's something that Norm and I, we always knew we wanted to have two children, and it wasn't super easy getting here, but we're here now. And so
Yes, you
I'm
are.
really excited. I don't want to use the words, well, I'm scared. Just be honest. Let's be real.
It's okay to be
It's
scared.
fine
That's
to
all
be
right.
scared about the life change that having two
Yes.
little ones and a full-time job will bring. just the juggling. But, I'm encouraged because so many people have 2 children. It's like
So
everywhere you look, people have 2 kids.
including me, your
Yes.
sister.
So I know that it's like the biggest thing I'm undertaking. It's also like one of the most common things that people go through in terms of life
It's pretty
changes.
normal. Very average.
I'm in good company, but it will be, yeah, the adventure gets more adventuresome.
It's very average to have 2 children, but that doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. So there is some work ahead of you.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be a lot of joy and fun and the feeling of having a full house. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Have you told Indigo yet?
I did. We talked to Indigo about it. He's
Oh,
pretty quiet on the matter. He
okay. He's in denial. You have to explain it to him in cars.
Yeah.
You know, like
No, he gets the concept. Like, we have a friend, in our community who recently had a baby and has an older
Ah,
sister in Indigo's class, and so we use that a lot to reference, like, Sophia has a little brother now, and he gets it. He's talked about siblings, "You're my sister," and
oh,
"One
yes,
sister,"
okay.
and so, "You're gonna be a big brother," and so he gets it,
Yes.
and when I talk to other people about it in front of him, he'll chime in.
Oh, okay.
So he knows it,
Alright.
but when you speak about it directly, he just doesn't really have much to say, and
He doesn't have
we
any
can't
experience with
talk about
this
it either.
personally.
Exactly. So it's gonna be evolving. We haven't actually gotten into reading books about it, which that will be important because he's very receptive to books and, like,
Okay.
discussing ideas through reading books, so I think that's the next frontier.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I got him a baby for Christmas
He
with a
did,
stroller.
which, medium interest in that.
Medium interest, yes.
I was hoping that we would have an ultrasound picture that, really looked like a
Oh,
baby, and, like,
yeah.
this baby is very shy apparently, and every time we have an ultrasound, it's like it's just its back. It's like head is turned, he doesn't it just looks like a fuzzy alien, you can't see
Yeah, that's
anything.
scary.
Yeah,
You don't wanna show him that.
so I think, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that.
Wow. Well, this is very exciting. Malika and I are in talks to figure out the podcast. We're committed to keeping it
Yeah,
going, but we might get creative sometime this summer when she's going through all of this. So stay tuned. But I'm so happy for you. And yeah, I'm excited.
thank you.
Let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll do peaks and valleys.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
All right, we are back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and always valleys. This is an even episode, so Azizi, start us off with a peak.
My peak is that I am in East Hampton with you, and right away I got to go to my favorite restaurant, Daily Operation, and have delicious food. Like, this is one of my top 5 favorite restaurants. So I'm so happy that we got to go there. We went there as a family all together. We ate so much delicious food and just started off the trip so well.
Yes, I love that place, and it is fun to kind of I feel like we usually go when you're here or Ilea's here, and so it's
Okay.
kind of yeah,
It's a treat.
it's fun, it's very good.
And they changed their menu, so that just makes it more exciting. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
What's your valley, Malika?
So my valley is that Kermit, our dog, seems to be sick with something.
Yeah.
I won't go into all of his symptoms, but
No, that's not fun.
he's very much sick right now, and I'm grateful that Ilea is here today and yesterday because she kind of flagged it to us,
Yeah.
and she's a pre-vet student, and she works in a veterinarian office, so she is not a medical professional yet, but she
She's pretty close.
I trust her insights, you know?
She just has to get through grad school, but it is really handy having a vet in the family or a pre-vet in the family.
So I trust her instincts, and she told us kind of what to do to look out for and then to get him checked out tomorrow. But it's hard when your kid is sick. It's hard when your pet is sick because they cannot talk to you to
Yeah.
say, like, oh, my tummy hurts, or I don't know. It's just, you feel helpless. And, we've got to take care of them and support them. And yet it's hard to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It feels very similar to having a sick baby, and there aren't as many tools or strategies either,
Yeah.
but he'll pull through.
Yeah. His energy is up and he's still up for going on walks. And I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. Is there anything you're going to try this week?
I think I'm going to ask my daughters what their 3 life changes are. Maybe when we're on a road trip and they can't go anywhere. Because I can see them kind of rolling their eyes, but I'm curious what they would say. Malika, what about you?
I'm going to say that. I'm going to ask Norm the question. And then also, practically speaking, I need to get some more maternity clothes. Like,
Oh,
now
okay.
that that's out, I can talk all
Yes.
about what I need as a pregnant lady.
Well, where do you go?
I don't know. I mean, mostly online. I was in Target the other day and they didn't even have the section. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh, they have it. What about Walmart? Have you tried that?
I haven't yet. Maybe we can go
Okay.
together. You
Let's go
can help
shopping. I
me.
think that's where this is headed. I think we need to go shopping.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye.
There wasn't a maternity section in that Target. I really looked.
Did you ask?
I looked.
Did you ask somebody?
I did, and they didn't even know what maternity meant. I was like, okay.
How is that
It's
possible?
like, what? It's like, for pregnant people.
Oh
and
my
it's like,
gosh.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.